Let's bring in head coach of the Chesapeake Bayhawks, Dave Cottle, joins us here on The Fan. Hello, Dave. How are you?
Scott, how are you?
I got Femi in here, so he may want to go some football with you.
Let's do it.
Little one-on-one with you, Coach. A lot happened since we've talked last. First, let's give a review of the MLL All-Stars, coached by Coach Cottle against Team USA, and it sounded like a terrific game. Everything I read, fantastic finish, and take us through
I
that.
tell you what, I thought our guys played well, Scott. We wound up. They had probably the top 31 players in the MLL, and we had a bunch of guys that weren't picked for that team, but were highly motivated to play against them. And when the game was over, I thought they had 3 or 4, superior athletes, and we had about 4 or 5. I really felt like, we had one practice. Our first day of practice was all the flights were delayed, so we had to cancel it. So we went for an hour in the morning.
Oh, boy.
And really, the guys just fought, and they worked together, and they communicated, and they played with dignity and class, and it was a great game.
Nice. Now you got, Dave, we talked about this before. You got quality players, but when you've got an hour to practice, I mean, what do you do as a coach?
Well, we had to go through a little bit of everything. We walked through rides and clears. We put in an extra man. We put them in a formation and let them do what they wanted to do out of that formation. But basically, the whole goal of that game was just to manage them, let them know what role they were going to play, and to get them to play unselfishly and to play with great energy. And our guys did that. So it was, I'll tell you the truth, I didn't enjoy the experience last year, the All-Star game. It was more like a made-for-TV show.
Right.
This was a real game, and guys competed. And
nice.
I was really happy to be a part of it.
They get a decent turnout?
Yeah, there was over 10,000 people there to watch it.
Nice. And it take fans through the finish because it was pretty wild down the stretch, right?
Yeah, we had a lead with like 5 minutes left. And they made a great play to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what? Do me a favor. Give me a little scouting report on Jake Seau. I'm from San Diego. Me and Junior played together in Miami, and I know that his son is an outstanding player. He went to Bishop's High School in San Diego, right around the corner from a gym I used to own, and I've heard raving reports about his ability to play the game. Can you tell me a little bit about Jake?
Yeah, he's going to Duke. He's committed to Duke. He's a good-sized athletic kid. He plays with great passion and energy, and he's a guy that's going to be a real factor in the ACC because he can dodge, he can pass. He's going to be a good player. And right now Duke's hot, and they're getting all the top players from all across the country, and he's one of them.
Dave, you saw how the recruiting, grew from outside of, New York, Mid-Atlantic, Maryland, and Denver, the success they've had out there, but a lot of good college players coming out of California and Texas, and Florida's producing players now. It's not unusual to see guys from the West now playing at major universities.
No, I think my last year, one of my last classes of recruiting, we recruited Drew Snyder, who was from Seattle, Washington, and Jesse and Jake Bernhardt that were from Orlando, Florida, and we had a shorty who came from Oregon. So we were getting guys from all over we were just looking for big, strong athletes, and we found them.
Hey, we had a cut with Buck Showalter this week where he kind of went on a rant about kids being pigeonholed into one sport from a baseball standpoint, and saying that the average Tommy John surgery now is 19 and a half, and it keeps coming down. And he's so adamant about kids just playing one sport, and thought it was almost criminal of parents and coaches to do that, especially for pitchers who throw all year and their arms break down. What's your philosophy about multiple sports? Because I know you recruited a lot of guys who did more than just play lacrosse.
Scotty, I believe that, first of all, I think football's life.
Yeah.
You get knocked down, you play against bigger, stronger, faster kids, you play against kids from different cultures, and I think I learned a lot in football. I also played high school basketball years ago, and anytime I encourage all our recruits to play multiple sports, because one of the biggest things that'll happen if you get guys that are playing multiple sports, when they get to college, they're going to improve when they reduce it to one sport. And so that was one of the things we looked for. We looked for quarterbacks. We looked for point guards. We looked for guys that were had the it factor in other sports, and then we figured that when they got time to work on the skills and the weights and everything like that, that they really would improve.
Yeah, Buck had a line. He said, we got guys that come into our game that don't know how to fall down because they haven't played other sports. They get hurt when they slide. He said, you learn so much playing different sports. You know, you develop different athletic skills no matter what the sport is.
I agree 100%. And basketball, you know, what's tougher than playing on the road against a great opponent at their gym?
Yeah.
You know, you got to be mentally tough. You got to make free throws when the pressure's on the line, or make a shot, or defend. There's so many lessons to be learned in other sports that will only make you a better athlete and a better lacrosse player.
Well, okay, let's transition out of the All-Star game. You guys get a nice road win, 18-11 last week. You've now won 2 out of your last 3, and looks like you're starting to build a little momentum.
We're starting to play better. Or, you know, at the show, you know, we played Boston, beat us up the first time we played them. We've come back and beaten them by 1, and then at one time in our opening game against Florida, we were down 13-4 in the third quarter, and we go to their place and we're up 14-5 in the third quarter. So I think we've turned the corner on effort. I think I told you that last week. Mm-hmm. We've turned the corner on enthusiasm, and this was the best game that we had execution-wise offensively all year. We shared the ball and we moved it, and we were unselfish passing, and you know, we've now had our 4th game in a row that we've taken over 50 shots, so we're starting to get quality looks.
There you go. And I'm looking, I mean, because of the hole you guys dug early in the season, every game's a big game, but this looks like a huge game because if you can get this one, then you get 3 your last 4 at home. Just a little bit about this week's game.
Yeah, and this is, Ohio is a team. It'll be our second time around again. They're a team that is a very high-scoring team. They're, in the last couple games, they've been giving up a lot of goals. So, you know, we're going to have to stop them because they're really talented offensively. But at the same time, if we move the ball, we're going to get our looks. So it's a game, I think it's a winnable game, and I think it's a game that we have to have. I think we told the kids last week our playoff season started last week, and it continues this week.
Well, you had a Terp. Joey's getting involved for you, right? He had a nice game last week.
Well, you know, he had 3 in the All-Star game, and I thought that gave him a lot of confidence. And then he had 4 and 4. He had 4 and 2 in the first half, and guys are learning to play with him and know that he's the most unselfish guy on the field, and they're moving when he touches the ball, and it's really helped us get some easy goals because if you cut and you're open, Joe Walters is going to get you the ball.
Yeah. Dave, thanks for the visit. Good luck. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, Scotty. Thanks so much, and you guys take care.
Okay. Dave Cottle, head coach of the Chesapeake Bayhawks.